the Altis is by far the most car in class. Log on to WapCar.my for the latest reviews, comparisons, and car prices to help you find your next perfect car. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Hello everybody, it's Adrian for WapCar.my and I'm all about the details. In recent years, the market for C segment sedan has been shrinking because many people prefer larger SUVs over low-riding sedans for the same price point. So car manufacturers have been trying to spruce up and spice up their C segment sedan offerings, offering like turbocharged performance like the Honda Civic, sexy looking design like the Mazda 3, but not the Toyota Corolla Altis. They've still maintained that matured, relaxing expression with this latest generation Altis. The latest generation Altis, even though it has a fresh new face and design, I feel that it looks a little bit soft compared to its competitors. I love this wide lower grille that gives the car wide stance on the road. The headlamps, they're slim and sleek, but they're not exactly sharp like you see on the Civic. The chrome bits are a nice touch, but I'll be very honest, I much prefer the design of the Toyota Corolla GR Sport, which was launched in Thailand. That body kit just gives the Altis that menacing, sharp look that it lacks. The wheels are 17 inches in diameter, very sensible size. But come on Toyota, why are you giving me a previous generation design? Don't you have a newer look for that? Keyless entry. Again, the same problem with the Toyota Camry. It's only accessible via the driver's side door. You can't get in via keyless entry on the passenger side door. Again, the rear of the Altis, I feel it looks a little bit soft compared to its rivals. You get LED combination tail lamps, a chrome strip across the boot lid, but that's about it. Now, interesting thing about the boot is if you want to press the boot release button, instinctively you will go to the center of the boot, but it's not. It's flanked over to the right side. The button is a bit small. It opens up to 419 litres of boot space, which is about 40 litres less than the Honda Civic. That's still largest in class, although it's slightly more than what you get in a Mazda 3. The aperture is wide, very easy to load stuff into it, and there's also folding 60-40 split rear seats. But my favorite part is you get a full-size spare wheel underneath here. I think we've all been spoiled by the premium looking interior as seen in the Mazda 3 or the high-tech cabin in the Honda Civic. So when you get into the Altis, it feels a little bit underwhelming. Yes, you get soft touch materials on the upper sections of the dashboard and doors, but they're not as soft or supple as seen in its other rivals. The rest of the cabin, however, is, yes, minimalistic, but it's also simplistic, very Toyota in nature. Climate control right here, dual zone, Qi wireless charging tray there right in front of you, sports mode, traction control, electronic parking brake. Even the buttons on the steering wheel is also very clearly laid out. You know what each button do. As compared into a Mazda 3 or Civic, however, there's a little bit of learning curve. You have to guess what the buttons do or where the buttons are. To each their own, I feel. In those cars, it feels a little bit more special. In this one, it's foolproof. And perhaps some older folks would enjoy and appreciate these kind of setup as seen in the Toyota. Oh, it even does that. The glove box even has soft damp. Onto the instrument cluster. There's a digital TFT screen on the center, standard, and you get 2 analog dials on either side. But the blue hues, I feel, is a little bit tacky. At the very least, it's very legible, it's very clear, you have all the information right there in front of you. Typical of a Toyota. Next up is the highlight of the cabin in this Altis that I'm in. This is the updated version, so it's updated with a new 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system that supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This unit is by Clarion Malaysia. It's sourced from Clarion, I mean. I love this. This is fixed the biggest problem that I had with the Altis, which is the old small screen that didn't have really good connectivity. This one, the functions are clear, it's very smooth to use, the operations are very fluid, and the connectivity on the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is faultless. And just check out the size of this, the real estate of this. I have my phone and it's huge, it's 9-inch. It's amazing. What's not very character of a Toyota is the amount of storage spaces in here. It's quite lacking even compared to a Mazda 3. So you get 2 cubby spaces in here, and the side door bins, you can't fit a large size water bottle. This is a big deal to me because I love to stay hydrated and I carry a big bottle with me every time. The center armrest console, tiny. Rear legroom in the Altis is surprisingly generous. I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position and I'm 175 cm tall. Check this out, pretty decent. Room in the footwell is pretty okay as well, and you get 2 back pockets to hide your fans and whatnot, but this is a little bit unnecessary because you have rear air vents in here. And you also get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. But my favorite part about this Altis is it gets a manual rear sunshade. I mean, even though it's manual, no other cars in the class offers a sunshade. My colleague Hans mentioned that the Altis cabin is a little bit tight for him, and even though you see there's a lot of knee room and leg room, I understand what he means. Check this out. So the seats of the Altis, the rear bench, is mounted a little bit higher. The benefit is it gives you easier ingress and egress as well as better hip support compared to its rivals. But as a result, headroom is a little bit lacking. It's not because the roof line of the Altis is sloping, it's simply because the seats are mounted a little bit higher up. And what bothers me a little bit less is the side pocket is a little bit tiny. Right, driving the new generation Toyota Corolla Altis. First impressions is a little bit meh. Okay, let me explain. When you know that it's based off the TNGA platform, immediately in your mind you would think, oh, it's going to be fun to drive, it's going to be dynamic, it's going to be sharp. And given that it's a C-segment sedan, cars of this class should be a little bit sporty to drive. Not quite. You see, despite it being based off the TNGA platform and it has a, double wishbone suspension on the rear axles, the handling of this car is not as sharp as its sibling, the Toyota CHR, and I can explain. I think it all boils down to this steering wheel right here. Compared to its other rivals, say the Honda Civic, that has a very quick ratio steering wheel, which makes the car very darty. The Mazda 3 steering wheel is very communicative, very engaging, gives you an engaging driving experience. This Altis, however, it's a little bit slow in the way that the first 5 degrees of the turning, the car doesn't react to it as you would hope it to be. So there you have it. When you drive this, you don't get that sporty, engaging, fun driving experience as Toyota claims you would get in a TNGA platform. But on the other hand, comfort levels in this Altis is next level. I am not kidding you. Among the main rivals in this segment, the Altis is by far the most comfortable car in class. The suspension soaks up undulation like it's nothing else. The bumps, you can take it at a much higher speed compared to, say, a Mazda 3, and the suspension doesn't even phase or rattles. Doesn't give you anything. It doesn't send any jolts into your cabin, into the spine. And speaking of the spine, these seats is so comfortable. There's plenty of adjustments, and unlike the Civic, this has lumbar support adjustment, so you can get your back support just right. And everything about the Altis, from the suspension, from the seating position, from the way the engine and transmission reacts, everything is so supple, so relaxing to drive. And I think this is the key ethos of a Toyota Altis. It's a comfortable family saloon, very refined, and all those qualities are present in this latest generation Altis. It's a perfect daily driver. You can get in, drive, feel very relaxed, comfortable, get to your destination without feeling any form of tiredness. As for the engine performance, the Altis gets the same 1.8 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine with a CVT. It pushes out about 140 odd horsepower and 170 odd Newton meters of torque. Now it doesn't sound much compared to especially the Civic's 1.5 turbo, that makes about 170 plus horsepower. But I actually don't care, and I don't miss or want that extra horsepower, because this setup, the engine and the transmission, the CVT, the response is just fine and smooth at low revs. In city driving, even at highway speeds, the reaction and the smoothness of the powertrain, no complaints whatsoever. It's just so smooth and comfortable to drive. This Altis is by far the most comfortable C-segment sedan on the market right now. What's not so great about the Altis, however, and I find this very surprising, is the sound insulation. When you're traveling at highway speeds about above 100 km per hour, you can get a lot of wind noise, a lot of road noise coming into the cabin. Don't get me wrong, it's quiet. We've measured it with our professional dB meter, and we found that the Altis averages about 68 to 69 decibels at 110 kilometers per hour. And that's actually about the same levels of a Toyota Vios. The Vios is quiet enough, but being one segment up in the Corolla Altis, I expect it to be a little bit better. As a comparison, the Mazda 3 averages about 67 to 68 decibels, and I know it is not much difference, like 1 or 2 decibels, but the effect is very obvious. Yes, I mean, right now I'm on less than ideal roads. I'm traveling about 80 kilometers per hour, and I'm hearing a lot. Motorbikes. But to sum up the entire Toyota Corolla Altis, this car with this new touchscreen infotainment system, which I love, has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the amount of features, the Toyota Safety Sense features, the driving experience, this is a very family-oriented sedan. It's not like that sporty driving feeling, that a little bit more aggressive kind of driving experience that you get from a Mazda 3 or a Civic. This one is just very subtle, relaxed, smooth cruiser. If you're looking for a family sedan, this one I think is your best priority. But if you're looking for something that's more engaging, more dynamic to drive, the Altis may not be up to your standards. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this, and let us know in the comment section below, when you're choosing a C-segment sedan, what are your priorities? Head on over to WapCar.my for the latest reviews, comparisons, photos, and virtual reality showroom to help you decide on your next perfect car.